Welcome to Television Shows Our Life. Now, yes, this is the Movies Are Life podcast, but, fall happened and we just got busy. Well, I say we. Whitney is here with me for this episode.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I got invited back.
She got invited back. So I appreciate our audience's patience. We have been watching movies. We've been watching a lot of things, but, fall is our favorite time of month. And we've just been crazy, but we're still trying to crank out the content, right?
Yep.
So we're still working on some things. So I thought this would be like a fun opportunity to just go over what we've been watching.
Yeah. Even though the writers are on strike, we got lots to watch.
And
it's going to run out at some point.
And somehow we're always still behind.
Yep.
So we thought we'd just kind of hit on a couple of things that we've been watching together. I wanted to start off, I know, on a high note for Whitney with one of the first shows we've been really digging. We've watched the first 2 episodes, and it's The Golden Bachelor.
Oh, The Golden Bachelor is the best. I heard today that it has had more more viewers since 2019, long time ago in the Bachelor world. It's been slowly dying, and this Golden Bachelor's had huge high ratings. So Golden Bachelor is awesome. It's on par.
Yeah.
I thought it would be creepy, but it's not.
Yeah, I think they've handled Gary. I almost said Jerry, but it is Gary, despite being spelled Gerry.
Do you think his parents messed up on his birth certificate, or do you think it was Jerry and then they had a weird Uncle Jerry, so they changed it to Gary? There's got to be a reason.
Yes, it's very, very odd.
Yeah,
but they've handled his situation, and I would say the majority of the women on the show really do seem authentic in their intentions.
Yeah.
So that's a part of it. I personally am really digging the hour-long episode.
Yep.
They're not making it. It kind of makes you realize how much of the other Bachelor, just the 2-hour run times. They run long. Even
though obviously anybody that goes on reality TV wants to be on TV, I don't feel like these women are out for fame or for YouTube or being influencers, or I don't think they know what that means. I do think they think it's cool that they're on a television show, but I don't think they are doing it solely to not have to work another day in their life. They legitimately feel like they're there for a fun adventure, and because they maybe want to find love, or just they want to do something cool and fun. And so I think that really changes it for me.
Yeah, really at that age, why would you even put yourself through the ringer of going through through all this?
We're having to buy all those clothes. That's all I can keep thinking about is who took them shopping to buy all these clothes.
Yeah.
But I have loved it. I think the show made some good changes, but I think they also needed to make a few more changes. And maybe they did it on purpose just so we would talk about it, but I don't think they should have all, the very first, that first rose ceremony, they always leave the contestants up all night to create craziness in their brains. And they did that to all those old women, and I just don't think that was fair. There is no reason to leave that. I mean, these people are in their 65, 75 years old. I mean, and they don't need to be up all night. It made no sense. I couldn't be up all night. I'd be a crazy person.
Well, we're recording this around 8:30 right now, and you're struggling.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know why they did that. They also put them in bunk beds, and I'm not crawling to a bunk bed. I have to go to the bathroom all night. They have to go to the bathroom all night. I don't. And they mentioned that, and maybe they don't really sleep up there. Maybe it was just a TV joke. But it just doesn't make any sense. I'm what? Why didn't you change a few things? Now, this last episode, they did change some things. They had an afternoon cocktail party, and it wasn't it wasn't because they had a swim party all day. It was just that was the plan. And so I think they probably got some ladies that were nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I pulled this up for you, and so you can look real quick while I fill some time, but or you may have somebody off the top of your brain, but do you have a favorite right now?
I think her name's Ellen.
Ellen?
Ellen, she had her best friend,
she the
Roberta. She's the pickleball co-captain, which instantly made me like her. But she was a retired teacher, and she had her friend that she was playing for that had cancer. and they ended up dedicating the season to her because she died, and she was my favorite.
Yeah.
I also love Hallie loves Kathy. Kathy is never gonna win. Kathy's 70. She's hilarious, but she is never gonna win. But Hallie loves her. So I think there's lots of fun people. So that's my.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, Gary's kids just watching this?
Yeah, and watching him kiss, I'd be like, ooh, don't do that.
So we are digging that show.
Go watch it. Thursday nights, not Mondays.
Thursdays nights. Do you like it on Thursday nights?
No, it really messes with my brain. Tonight, I would like to be watching The Bachelor, and instead, I'm confused and doing a podcast at 8:30 at night.
Yeah. So another show we have been following since the first season that it came out. Love is Blind. So it's been going through season 5 right now. We are a little bit behind. I think it came out with all the episodes now. We're around episode 6, 7.
Yeah.
So just quick thoughts about this season.
I love Love is Blind. Love is Blind is great in comparison to The Bachelor. It's like it really learned how to document the people and make it a lot of the people stay together, get together, and their track record is unbelievable compared to The Bachelor. I think it has to do with like how much time they spend together, that they're in these pods, but then they go back to they have a fairy tale, and then they also go back to just real life, and I think that makes a big difference. I really like it. I've always liked it. I like this season so far, except not as many storylines to follow, and I think that's going to get a little boring and weird, but it always ends on a cliffhanger, and so that makes it fun, and you want to go right to the next one. I think it's definitely a fun watch. If you've ever liked The Bachelor, you'd like this even more, just because it's a little less. It's a little more raw. The people are a little more raw, and I think that's fun. Yeah,
I think the premise and the popularity of the show is starting to catch up on it, because out of the pods at the beginning, only 3 couples emerged, quote unquote, engaged, and only 2 of them came out of the resort. 2 couples came out of the resort, and so. And they're also, when they were in the pods, they added a lot of, some of the people had, history with some of the other contestants. I feel like the show is really starting. They know that people are starting to kind of maybe game the system a little bit.
Yeah.
And so they're having to resort to other quirks. So I feel like this season hasn't been as good because, it's following these 2 couples. Now, I've enjoyed, watching them together, Milton and Lydia, and Stacy and Izzy. And I think the part of the season we're in right now, when they go back home, they're with their families. We really like that when they see each other's apartments, and they start getting to have some real talks about money. When they want to have kids, all of that sort of stuff.
My favorite thing about the show from season 1, even if you just go back and watch, is that the people, because they find each other blind, where they're in these pods and all they can do is talk, and they talk on just like how in the old days when we talked on the phone only, but they can only talk. They don't know what each other looks like. And the thing I find the most remarkable is that the people always go together. They always look the part of the other person. They either look alike, or they just look like they would find each other in a bar, or they look like people that would be like friends in the lunchroom cafeteria at school. And you're like, how did you find one? You both are weird, and you're both quirky, and you both look a lot alike. So like this season, Stacy and Izzy have the exact same mouth. And I'm like, you couldn't even see each other's mouth. How did you know that you would look alike? And I just find it very interesting. So I do think there's something to that but just by talking, you have the same likes or interests, and you just kind of meld together and look alike, and I just think it's weird.
Yeah, very much. So definitely a reality show, but...
Sure. Netflix, so it's a little bit more juicy.
For sure. Yeah, they went to some shower scenes this year where we were like, wait, what are we watching? So... We'll probably don't have a whole lot to say about these shows, so just to jump off the reality show train a little bit. But I would say...
Let's preface, we usually don't just watch reality TV, but
True.
There's, with the writer strike that is hopefully ended.
It is.
But hopefully things will start to come back. We don't have as many of our good deep shows because we watch really smart TV. Not just this trash that we're talking about. Okay, go ahead.
And so one of the new shows, I say returning shows to kind of emerge through this desert of new content. But it's been the third season of the morning show. We're about 2 episodes in, and I mean the best way.
It's terrible.
It's so terrible, but it's just it is like it's so bad. It's good, maybe, but
it has so many good people.
There's so many talented people, and you sit there the whole time going, I can't believe they're delivering these lines with such, they're so earnest, and it's like they believe them, and it's just like, I don't know, but...
I mean, you got to watch it because it's Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, and you're like, I have to watch this.
Yeah.
And Julia Margell, how do you say it?
Juliana Margell.
You can't say it either.
Well, just because you messed up.
Anyway, and I'm like, all these people are wonderful, and the show is just flat goofy.
Yeah.
Maybe the writers were on strike already when they wrote it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Terrible.
There's certain scenes that just completely work, and you're like in it. And then there's other scenes where all of a sudden Reese Witherspoon is floating in a spacecraft with John Hamm.
And you're like, what has happened?
Yeah. But
lots of people, lots of money.
Yeah.
And I mean, it came just straight off of like the Today Show, and that's all I can think about. And there's probably a lot of drama that ensues, but instead they like created some like fake drama, and it's like, why? You could have just used real stories that have happened, and it would have been interesting.
Yeah. Kind of in the same vein, we watched it pretty fast when it came out this summer, but the second season of The Summer I Turned Pretty. So, which the first season, self-admittedly, I mean, like, it's just a soap opera, but I thought the first season was done actually really well, and it kind of reminded me of probably something like the OC or Dawson's Creek around that time. And I thought there was a lot of good things that worked in the first season. The second season, on the other hand, I mean, I thought it was just flat out terrible.
It's like the story just wrapped up, and somebody's going to be listening to this that read the book and going to say, yeah, the book ended, and then they just kept going, or that's wrong. But it's like the book was real in-depth and good, and then they tried to write a second season, and it just didn't do great. But I agree. I think it kind of was weird. Now, I had to watch it because I felt like anything with, like, teenage coming of age, you like watching them grow up, and I just had to know what happened. But it still isn't great.
Yeah, the whole arc of season 2 is basically rich, privileged boys trying to save their beach house in Connecticut.
Yeah, and you don't really feel that bad for them. I'm like, you don't have millions of dollars? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but just if people were wondering what side we leaned on as far as Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah, we are both Team Jeremiah all the way.
I've always been team good guy. Obviously, that's why I married you. I'm team good guy. But I don't understand why people are ever team bad guy. Like, why do you want the brooding, like, just like person? I don't understand it. So it goes back to, like, we're watching Gilmore Girls, and why would you be team Jess? Like, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. He's brooding and gets in trouble. Why do you choose that? I don't understand. And nobody's ever been able to explain it. They're always like, yeah, but they're the mysterious bad guy. And I'm like, and what do you like about that? I don't get it.
Yeah. So, but somebody told me, oh, just wait. And I'm like, well,
we waited. Did you see it? I saw nothing.
I might have to end it there. It was pretty brutal getting through that.
Yeah.
Another show for some reason, we just haven't finished, but, well, I'm throwing Whitney underneath the bus here. She flat out falls asleep during The Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Only because there's music that plays softly underneath. Anytime music plays, it puts me right to sleep.
And this show is like 60s like doo-wop music or something. That apparently does it too.
It does it too.
But the last
I love The Marvelous Miss Maisel. I just fall asleep.
It's so well written. The production value of it is just
great,
blows my mind every time. Hilarious. I don't know why more people haven't talked about it. It had it that first season and everybody talked about it, and then it dropped off. But you mentioned Gossip Girl, the creator of Gossip Girl, so if you like that like fast dialogue, just always ahead of you. But
not Gossip Girl, it was Gilmore Girls.
Oh, what did I say? Gossip
Girl. You're tired too.
So we don't have to talk a whole lot about this, but back into the reality show world, we have been watching Big Brother. I meant to look at how many days they're at right now.
Like,
over 60 days.
It was like 65 the other day.
Yeah, but generally, Big Brother's one of those. It's fun to have on. I mean, it's definitely one of those. Like
it's a summer show.
You're doing laundry. You're looking at your phone while it's going on. But quick thoughts. Have you enjoyed the season?
I have liked it. I think the characters are good, and I've really
cast.
liked them. Yeah, I like it now that they've gotten over or that Jared's out of the house. I could not stand that because Cerie's son Jared is in the house, and it drives me crazy. I'm like, we get it. He's in the house, and it's over. Like, for me, that was boring. I was like, Jared is boring. Cerie is great. Like, why'd you bring in a boring son? So that's over. But I like all the characters. I think they're good, and it's kept my interest. And usually it doesn't.
Yeah. At this point, basically everybody that's there will be on the jury now, and just quickly thinking through everybody, probably minus Blue. I like everybody, and I feel like they're on a path. Like, if they got to the end, I think it's fair. But anyway, but yeah, it is a little bit like, oh my gosh, there's still all those people left. Like,
I don't know. I mean, when people go on a reality show and they're gone like 30 days, I'm like, cool, I see how you can get away from work. These people that are gone like 3 months, I'm like, what? What do you do? Maybe they're all unemployed.
Yeah, well, you can understand, like, Corey's so young. He's probably in that, like, just finished college, you know.
But the rest of them, like, what?
Yeah, so, and then we don't really have to talk about this, but just super excited for Survivor and Amazing Race being back on. Amazing Race, it's one of those, we really enjoy watching it as a family.
We won't give you spoilers on that because you're maybe not caught up. Big Brother, you can give spoilers because there's no way they're watching 60 days worth of footage.
Right, yeah.
But Survivor, I think is really good.
Yeah.
This time. And I think Amazing Race is just fascinating to watch.
It is fascinating.
And the people and the cultures. And we like watching that one with our kids, so I like it.
We really like it. So I wanted to ask you, Whitney, is there any shows you want to talk about that... There are some shows that we just watch on our own, and anything that you're watching that you've been enjoying.
Well, my like guilty pleasure is terrible, but I enjoy it. Virgin River came back, and I weirdly really like Virgin River. I like the slow music at the beginning, even though I said I don't like it. I don't fall asleep when I hear that. I like the scenery in it, and I've really gotten into the characters. I really care about them, and it is the most soap opera-y show ever. And then there's some of the characters I can't stand more than life itself, like the mayor in town. Can't stand her. But I just really like the show, and it's stupid. And I thought I finished it real fast, but Nathan told me there's more season to come, so I'm even happy. And I like it because you just don't watch it with me, so I get to watch it whenever I'm like home alone or like you're watching something I don't want to watch.
Yeah. This is how our relationship works. I tell Whitney when her shows are back on, I'm like, hey, Virgin River's back on. You're like,
that's why I married you.
And then I think I walked in when it finished, this last episode. And you're like, well, that ended really weird. And I was like, well, that was part one of like the season. And you're like, oh, okay. But I just, you would just left that just thinking that's how they ended things.
Yep. No, I would have just waited on season 6.
Yeah. So don't you appreciate me?
I do. That's why I married you.
Yeah. I have to call out real quick. Just shows I just haven't finished yet. But The Bear has been terrific this season too. Almost
it screams way too much for me.
Yeah. It's actually, I was telling Whitney, it was
out.
A much quieter season until, if you have watched the show, there is a Christmas dinner episode, and man, it'll make you, it stretches you, it'll stress you out to the max. And then I just talking about this one just to get Whitney's reaction here, but still one of the most underrated, not talked about comedies on TV is What We Do in the Shadows. Completely hilarious. But
if any of you are listening to this, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, Nathan is so weird that he watches that. It is the strangest show.
It's so strange. I never said it wasn't strange. It's so funny.
So weird.
It's so weird, but so funny.
I don't even know what to say about it. I'm always half asleep when you're watching it, and it just wakes me up into weird world. I think I'm dreaming half the time.
Yeah. It's basically The Office mixed in with vampires.
No.
Yeah.
The Office.
It's that mockumentary style.
Yeah.
Dark
but
humor.
with vampires and zombies and weird dark things.
It's funny.
Not good like The Office. That was rude to The Office.
And then a quick suggestion. I feel like if you have Max, it's 3 episodes. They're about an hour each. Miniseries called Telemarketers, and I think it's a documentary series. These 2 guys that work together, probably like early 2000s, but then they just basically become whistleblowers and try to expose the industry, and it goes through their lives. And so anyway, I really highly recommend it, especially if you like documentaries and just this kind of behind the scenes look of how corrupt systems exist in this world. So, and Whitney's doing exactly. Anytime I've told her about this show, your eyes start to glaze over a little bit. But
yeah, what were you talking about? What was it about? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So
I didn't watch it, obviously.
Yeah. And so we also, this is a good chance. We want listeners to tell us like what we should be watching. Two shows we haven't started yet is last season of Reservation Dogs, so it's kind of waiting to finish The Bear before we did that.
Yeah.
And also we never have started the season 3 of Only Murders in the Building, and so it got picked up for season 4 again. I heard this season has more of a Broadway bit to it, but we just haven't been. How do you feel about that show?
I feel like it needed to be an 8-episode season and be done. It was like, it really captured my interest, and now it's gone on so long, I'm like, what are we doing with this still? But I like Broadway. I like all those people, so I guess I'll watch.
Well, Paul Rudd's in the season 3, Meryl Streep.
Yeah, I love them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like right now, if I told you what happened in season 2, would you be able? So yeah, but
I mean, stuff happened, and I watched it.
Yeah,
but I don't remember.
Don't remember.
And I stayed awake. But
yeah. So anyway, that's what we've been watching. We would love to.
You know why? It's because every show needs a relationship, and there's no relationship except with each other. And I don't care if the 3 of them are friends.
You don't care that they're friends? Why?
Do you?
Well, I love the dynamics between Steve Martin.
I do too. That's not what I'm saying. The show itself, like the fictional characters, need some sort of relationship to be budding or not, so you worry about what happens to the next week. I don't even know what they're talking about half the time. They're just talking about somebody dying all the time, and nobody cares. Nobody even knows who died.
Yeah, I watch it. I watch it basically just for the clever lines.
Yeah,
not so much the plot. It's like
that's what I mean. There's no plot that runs through it.
Well,
gotta have a Ross and Rachel.
There is a plot, but it's very...
Gotta have a Ross and Rachel.
Ross and Rachel. It just always comes back to Friends.
It always does.
Yeah.
It always does.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this little offshoot of an episode. You can always visit our website, moviesyourlife.com, for episode reviews and more. We have lots of fun stuff coming up. I promise it won't quite always be like this, but we'll be talking about a couple spooky movies. Not me and Whitney. She just looked at me like... Whoa, you didn't tell me about this. But we got a couple of those lined up to celebrate October, our favorite month. And just, I love Halloween and all the scary stuff that surrounds it. And 2 films coming up on our 50 best rom-coms list. We'll be talking about Crazy Rich Asians and 13 Going on 30 soon. So be on the lookout for those episodes. What? So anyway, thanks everybody for listening. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you like this kind of TV branch off, let us know. I know Whitney would always love to share her thoughts.
You know what we should have said at the beginning?
What?
This is a spoiler alert podcast for sure. We gave a lot of spoilers.
I don't think we spoiled too much.
You don't?
What did we spoil?
I don't know. That's it.
I just asked you what your favorite contestant was on the Golden Bachelor.
Maybe she went home. Who knows?
Who knows? All right, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.